I think, one of the biggest misconceptions of that poor mindset is there's not enough for everyone. They live in scarcity, they live in fear. But when I joined the real system, and I'm like, why? I also had the thought like, well, why, if this is so good to be true, why is Jorge preaching this? Like,
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Jorge Contreras podcast, a podcast for real estate investors and those who want to get to 10K a month with Airbnb without owning real estate, but also with owning real estate. And on today's episode, I have one of my students, Arnulfo, who has really just created a very successful business utilizing the purchasing strategies, the subleasing strategies. He's also now starting to buy off-market deals to continue to own and continue to build his equity and net worth. And he also owns a architect business engineering. They design ADUs basically from A to Z. So if you're in SoCal, make sure you guys hit him up. What's up, Arnulfo?
what's going on, Jorge?
How you doing,
Thank you for
brother?
thank you for having me. I'm doing great.
I love it, man. What does your shirt say?
Mindset,
And
and most importantly, it says, "Fuck how."
what does that mean? Can you expand a little bit? What does fuck how mean?
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway is that is forget the how. A lot of times when we're trying to achieve our goals, we get so focused on how, what we're gonna do to get there and how we're gonna do it. And I think the biggest takeaway is fuck the how, follow the who, find out who's doing it, learn from them, and just replicate the process.
Boom, what a way to open it up. Yeah, too many people get caught up on how is that going to happen, right? Like sometimes people who are just getting started maybe have a goal of, oh, I want to get to six figures with Airbnb. And they might be like, but how? And then the more they think about the how, the more they go into analysis paralysis because they're like, well, what if they don't have all the capital? What if they don't have the credit? What if they don't have the resources, the knowledge? Or just anything. And so they end up just sitting on the sidelines because they're trying to figure out the how before they ever get started. And one of the things that I've always been a fan of is do what you can with what you have, where you are. Or like if you imagine driving at night, it can be pitch black. You got your light, your beams on, and you could only see like 300 feet in front of you. But every time you move forward, you see a little more and a little more and a little more and a little more. But thanks for coming on, bro. And so just to kind of share the story, Arnulfo joined the Real System a few years ago. And he came in here to implement at first the purchasing strategy. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe your escrow was like 30 to 45 days. But you're like, hey, Jorge, I don't want to wait 30 to 45 days just to get the property. So I'm going to go and sublease in the meantime. And like 12 or 14 days later, you acquired not one, but two subleases and basically just started exponentially growing. Can you kind of walk us through that journey and through that process?
Yeah, so taking it back to 2020 when I started the Airbnb journey, really I was in a position where by that point, I had made some money. I had started my engineering business, and really I was stuck on, hey, these prices are extremely high on these houses, and it just didn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense how I would purchase a property, but in California, it wouldn't even cash flow with the amount of mortgage and everything that I was paying. So, I came across Jorge. I joined the program, and the biggest thing was like taking the action. And I think that when I saw the numbers that Jorge and the students were doing on in the program, it just made the buying process like a no-brainer. At that point, I already had all the money saved up from that analysis paralysis. Hey, what am I going to do with this money? I don't want to just buy a rental and not cash flow. But now with this new strategy, I felt like I had a new superpower behind my tool belt. So I went ahead and opened up, as soon as I started the program with Jorge, I opened up escrow within, I think, the first week or two. And then while that was going, at the time, there was a contingency in place where in order for me to buy the house, I needed to wait 45 days. And it just took a long time. And I'm like, hey, I have all this knowledge. I don't want to lose out on an opportunity. I've already waited 3 years and not buying real estate. And if I keep waiting, it's just gonna, I'm losing out on more and more money. And the way I looked at it was like, the more I waited, the further I was from my goal. And I think to me, adding the sublease while I was in escrow was getting me closer to my goal. So that was really what drove the decision to get the sublease.
Awesome, Arnulfo. That's awesome and very inspiring. What actually inspired you to start the Airbnb business? Like, at what point did you decide, like, man, you know what? I think I want to give this a shot.
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing was just going back to my background. I come from a very humble beginnings. I think that's something that we could all relate to. I'm the oldest in my family. I don't come from an entrepreneurial family. My dad and my mom, they always worked W-2s. And from a young age, I just knew that I needed to work hard. That was kind of like the philosophy that was ingrained in me, right? And through sports and through the way I grew up was it was just something that I always knew. Just work hard, and everything else will work out in the end. So, I did just that. I got my master's in engineering. I started working for the government. I had a good paying job. And, eventually I got my engineering license. I started doing my side hustle as an engineer. And eventually my side hustle was paying me more than my day job. But what was happening was, after 2 years of working both the W-2 and coming home and working from 5 p.m. to sometimes 2 in the morning, and it was just taking a big toll on me. And the philosophy that I grew up knowing, of working hard and doing everything in excellence, wasn't giving me the result that I wanted. So I came across one of your videos. I think it was on Facebook. And I think what really hit me was, I felt like what you were saying was speaking to me. I didn't necessarily have a money problem at that point. I had a mindset problem. And one of the things that you told me was, or you said in the video, and I felt like it was directed to me, was, if you don't learn how to make money in your sleep, you're going to work for the rest of your life. And when you said that, like, it was just like, fuck, like, here I am thinking, like, it was just, the bombs just dropped and the mic dropped. And I felt like, you know what, I need to re-strategize what I'm doing, because it's not leading me anywhere.
Wow, powerful. If you don't learn how to make money while you sleep, you will have to work a job until the day you die. Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time. And tell us a little bit about your Airbnb portfolio. Like, what kind of numbers have you guys been bringing in, like, on a monthly basis, like gross revenue, and what does the portfolio look like now?
Yeah, so right now, my portfolio is a combination of long-term and Airbnbs. On the Airbnb side, we have, it's going to be a total of 3 subleases pretty soon. We currently have two that are active, one that we're waiting to get the approval from the city. And then the fourth Airbnb that we have, it's one of our properties that my fiance and I own.
Wow. And what are you guys grossing on right now, or what has been like your biggest month?
Right now, we're grossing. We're a little shy of 30,000. We're averaging about 25, 26K a month. Um, it's crazy because I have 3 other properties that are eventually will end up on Airbnb. For the time being, and just other circumstances, I'm
Mhm.
currently renting them. But man, it's just crazy how, with only 4 properties, we're able to bring in that much passive income, not active income, passive income.
Wow, 25, 26K a month. That's super powerful, man. And you joined the program, what, maybe about 2 years ago or so, right?
Yeah, I joined in a little under 2 years. I joined in
Like June,
about
July.
July of 2020. Yeah.
Wow, that's powerful, man. And then you also have another business. Can you tell everybody about the engineering side of the business and what you guys do with that business?
Right. So the beauty of being in real estate and Airbnb, it's that everything is connected. And with our architecture and engineering business, what we do is we help homeowners add passive income through these ADUs, through these multifamilies. So our team handles the design, engineering, and permitting process for all these new constructions that you're seeing here in California. The ADUs have been a very powerful strategy for homeowners to add an additional single family on their property. So we've been able to work with a lot of homeowners, a lot of even with the real system, we've been working with other students and just creating more cash flow through ADUs and Airbnbs. So we're just tag teaming them.
Wow, that's powerful, man. And then the other thing, just to kind of take it back, I feel like this is a powerful thing because you come from like an educated background. You went to school, you got your degree in order to be an engineer. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I got my bachelor's and master's here in Southern California.
So, most people when they get the degrees to do what you do now, they go and then they find like a big company to like work for. Like, why did you decide to work for yourself and start your own business?
What's funny, man? When I started working for the government back in 2012, you know, I started working there, and I just saw the culture and the environment, and I almost felt like I was lied to, right? Because my whole life, I grew up in a household where my dad was making $15 an hour, and all I knew was, go to school, get a good job, and work for the government. So at that point, I started in 2012 making $30 an hour, and now, it went from 30 to eventually 60, and so forth. But the point that I'm making is that the culture that I saw within the system is what kind of, I knew I didn't belong. I felt like, I felt like I was destined for more. And I felt like the culture and the system that was being created was like, hey, you're doing good. Just be thankful you're here. And, this is it. Like, just, this is what your next 30 years is going to look like. So for me, walking around in an environment where you have people that were there for 30 years, and not one single person did I look up to,
Wow.
whether it was their health, their leadership, the way that, I didn't see myself 30 years looking like that. So I said, you know what, like, this is, I don't belong here, but I need to use the skills that I have now. I went through this process, I got my degrees. I have to use what I have, and really, I had to really dig deep and say, how do I use my value and create a different result? Because what if I keep doing what I'm doing, I know what my next 30 years will look like.
Powerful. If you don't do something different, the next 30 years are going to look just like the last 5 years.
That's right.
Uh,
Yeah, it's scary.
yeah, it's super inspiring, man. And then, a lot of people want to maybe start a business with either a business partner. In some cases, it could be their intimate partner. And your fiance, Alex, is here on Instagram just putting some of these emojis, clapping for you. How have you and Alex, your fiance, have been able to build this business and grow together? Like, how do you guys make it work? You guys obviously spend a lot of time together. So how do you guys make that all work?
Right. I think, like any partnership, I think what's helped us excel is playing to our strengths. I think Ale and I, we grew up in the same, a block away. So we've been on this journey for 12 years, and it's very beautiful to see, the transformation, because, I think there's a saying, I don't know who says it, but if you don't grow together, you grow apart.
I say that.
Yeah, so I'm a strong believer in that. I think that, one of the reasons why our relationship has flourished, and really just playing to each other's strengths, and having the same mindset, having the same interest, and looking, having, basically starting with the end in mind. When I met her back 12 years ago in high school, I was looking for my, the mother of my children. I was already thinking like, the person that I'm gonna who's going to be my partner, how does our life look like 30 years from now? So I was already thinking way ahead. And, I think just having her by my side has really helped me stay, stay focused on the vision and really work together and play to our strengths. And ultimately, this journey, there's times where, you want to quit, you want to throw in the towel, and just having someone there reminding you of, reminding you of your vision, reminding you of who you are, and what we're capable of. I think that's been the biggest thing, is being able to have someone by my side and really like bring out the best in me, and vice versa.
Yeah, it's powerful because, I think there's a lot of, speaking to the men out there who are just spreading their energy, right? Sometimes guys have this belief that if they focus their time and energy with one person, that they're going to be, missing out or something, or they feel like sometimes guys feel that they're going to be imprisoned if they're with one person because they don't have the freedom to be with, different women at the same time, right? But I actually found my freedom in being with one person. And I felt like it was imprisonment spreading my energy and not having like a point of focus, you know? And I feel like that also has helped me grow, not just as an entrepreneur, but as a person, because like, just like the way you described your fiance, same thing with my wife, right? She's there every step of the way. When I went and took the Rich Dad classes back in 2015, $35,000 investment. She's like, go babe, like you were born for this, like go get it. And I still remember like in 2015, we went to Costa Rica on vacation. And I remember telling, she was my fiance, not even my fiance, my girlfriend at the time. I said, hey, how amazing would it be if we had a business that we could run from anywhere in the world? And we had no idea what that looked like. But now the Airbnb business, as you've experienced yourself, we run from anywhere in the world, right? Not just financial freedom, but time freedom and location freedom. As long as you're connected to your phone, you can be in communication with your management team who manages all the team members, and then boom. So it's always really awesome, right, to see other people that are winning everywhere. Because that's always been my belief, that to truly win in life, I got to win everywhere. I got to win in my health, in my relationships, and in my finances.
100%. I think that's the biggest measure of wealth, is having that full spectrum, right? Like you said, the not just in business. I think a big misconception is that someone's wealth is measured by how much money they make, when in reality, like you just mentioned, there's so much more to wealth. And uh, just to add on to that, I would include generational wealth, leaving the legacy. Those are all things that I aspire to have through wealth.
Powerful, man. Just one more question for anybody out there that wants to start an Airbnb business, but they're like, is it saturated? Is it possible? And you went from zero to making, 25, 26K a month in less than 2 years. What would you say to that person who's maybe having some mindset challenges, whether it's believing in themselves or just not taking action?
I think one of the biggest blessings that came from joining the Real System is the community that comes with it. And I've been able to make meet some of my closest friends at this very moment. And it's such a beautiful experience when we're all winning together. I think one of the biggest misconceptions of that poor mindset is there's not enough for everyone. They live in scarcity, they live in fear. But when I joined the Real System, and I'm like, why? I also had the thought like, well, why, if this is so good to be true, why is Jorge preaching this? Like, shouldn't he just be taking on more Airbnbs? But I now see the bigger impact, the bigger picture, and the impact that you make by creating this wealth and being in a community where we're all winning. Because trust me, there is enough for everyone. The U.S., I mean, this is a land of opportunity, and really, this with the Airbnb strategy. I mean, my goal this year, I wrote it down. That's one of the things that, coming into the Real System, I started implementing in my life, is my vision board. And for me, it's mainly on a pen and paper. I keep it real simple, but I think that this year we declared that we wanted to add 10 units to our Airbnb portfolio. And that's the number that we're sticking to. We're already at one, so we got, the rest of the year to acquire nine. And I think it's very achievable. I think the best time to start was yesterday, but the next best time to start is today. So anyone that's looking to start, it's just think about the missed opportunities of waiting. That was my biggest thing. I'm like, man, if I would have started this back in 2015 when I had money, and I would, that 25K probably would have been 250K.
Beautiful, man. It's a great way to wrap it up. But I also want to thank you because one of my best cash flowing properties I acquired while I was in Hawaii. And I hit you up and I said, hey, man, I know you live not too far. You mind going and checking out this property? And you went, you took pictures, you took videos, and actually submitted an offer based on the pictures and videos that you got me. I acquired the property, renovated it, we launched it, and now that property is doing extremely, extremely well, grossing over six figures by itself. So thank you, man. Appreciate that. And again, that's the power of a community, right? If it was the other way and you were in Hawaii and I was, 5 minutes away, hey, I'll go down the street and get some video for you too. But thank you, Arnulfo. Appreciate you being on here, bro. And we'll definitely get together soon, man.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me on the podcast. And it's just a real blessing. I mean, I think the people that are here in this podcast and on IG Live, thank you guys for joining. This is a great opportunity, not only to make an impact, but I think just creating that ripple effect in your group of friends. But I just want to thank you, Jorge, for making such an impact in my life, making an impact in my fiance's life, and everyone around me. So thank you for that.
They say sell them what they want, but give them what they need. So people come for the financial freedom, but as you've experienced through transformation, there's a whole lot more that goes into it. And that always excites me is that we can help people win everywhere. But if people want to connect with you and maybe they want your services to do an ADU, how can they best contact you?
Yeah, so my IG handle, I'll have Alejandra added to the chat. It's at Arnulfo Nuno Jr. And that you guys could reach out, DM me. I'm pretty active on Instagram. And then, once we're ready to move forward, we can exchange contact information, phone and email.
Can you just spell out the IG? So it's Arnulfo, Arnulfo, and then it's
Nuno, Nuno,
Nuno.
Jr.
JR. Perfect. Awesome, brother. Hey, man, thanks so much. Appreciate you being on here, and we'll be seeing you soon. Thank you guys for checking out this episode. I also got a free ebook in the description down below, so make sure you guys check it out. Thanks so much.